From a story of building one studio up in the north of Finland, we go to another one, which is Critical Force from Kiani. I've got honour to ask VP to the stage. How are you doing? It's been a while.
Yep.
Good. You got your clicker? You're going to tell us all about Critical Force and how you've...
All right.
The story, 10 years, my God.
Yeah, so this is story about Critical Force. 10 years and more joy and pain. So this is my personal story about my personal journey and the reflections of roller coaster of different kind of emotions. So I am Veli-Pekka Piirainen, founder and chairman of the board at Critical Force. Before starting my own company, I was working at Supercell as a studio manager at Supercell North, around 11 months, based in Kajaani. And I also founded game development curriculum at the Kajaani University, 2005. And I have been serial entrepreneur since 1994, mainly in IT and building business. At the moment, Critical Force has about 70 employees, and we have been developing multiplayer shooter games from the start. And our main office is in Kajaani, and then we have a studio here in Helsinki, and we have developers around the world working remotely. So, our main title, Critical Ops, it has already 130 million downloads, and it has gained $40 million revenue so far. So, how did we get there? So, I started the company 2012. I hired a talented programmer who has started developing web version of Counter-Strike. And from there we got the idea. So I gave him Android device and hey, let's port the game on mobile, and it ran smoothly. So we knew that here's something. So I hired more people to develop the game, and then we launched the very first version of the game in July 2012. It got around 100,000 downloads the very first day, and it felt already quite a big success because we didn't have any user acquisition. Only marketing is just in the different kind of channels, and people found the game and we were happy. But we didn't have any monetization in the game, so we didn't earn any money. So the master plan was, because that time premium games were still a thing, but free-to-play were coming. We didn't have any free-to-play experience. So the master plan was that we make iOS version as a premium, price tag $2.99, we get 100,000 downloads, and all good. We also changed the name of the game, so we are a little bit cautious. Critical Strike, it's almost like Counter-Strike. The game is like Counter-Strike, so we were a little bit afraid. So we changed the name, Critical Mission SWAT. It was a stupid thing. But anyways, we launched the game, and huge disappointment. So the market shifted so heavily to free-to-play, nobody bought any more premium games. So we were thinking we got 100,000 downloads during the first week. Now we got 5,000. So I had already invested 100,000 in the company by myself. And I was thinking that, oh, this was so big disappointed that I want to quit. I'm not a good entrepreneur in the gaming. But after the Christmas holidays, I just thought, hey, I don't give up. I will put some more money, I put 40,000, and let's try something. So we put ads on the game, and it started to bring revenues. Little by little, and that we could survive. Okay. Then I made a second mistake. Let's make a reskinned version of the game. So we made a space shooter, which was practically even worse. We got about 30,000 euros with that game, but spending those resources for new game unless the better choice would have been that improve the current game and make it better. Yeah, but we got also state money, so we got ELI grant, some ELI center, so that helped us survive. And we started to develop the fourth game. So the Critical Strike / Critical Mission SWAT got players. That was a huge win. So we had over 300,000 daily active users in February 2013, which was very useful for the future games. So then started the bootstrapping period. So we released the fourth game. It was a multiplayer tank battle game on Google Play, and later also on Windows Store, because Windows Mobile was a thing, and we got Up Campus grant for making the Windows mobile version of the game. It was not a big success, but we learned how to make free-to-play games, so first steps in that. But in between 2013 and 2014, I started to feel very overworked, overburdened, because I was working also at the university full-time and then full-time also at the company, so 16 hours per day was too much. So I hired a studio manager to help me out, and he was a great guy. He started to sort things out and relieve my workload. So we started to think what next. So Critical Strike was a success when we think about the amount of players, but monetization didn't work. The software architecture was bad, graphics were bad. So let's make new version of the game with better software architecture, better graphics, and so on. And luckily, because of our studio manager, we got original Counter-Strike creator and developer Min Le for 1 month coming to Kajaani from Canada. And with his help, we started to develop the new game, and he also gave us game character assets and gun assets with animations for our use, so we get going really fast and could test the game. And meanwhile, we get some ELI grants again. And then there came some kind of problems with the studio manager. I had to fire him, which was very painful for me, very, very depressive time for me, but we kept going, and we launched open alpha version of the Critical Ops game. It was the new game name on Google Play, and we started to get players, we started to get money and revenues, and yeah, some pictures of the early days. There's a Min Le with me. So, time of scaling up. The game gets traction. We started esports activities. So we won Kasvo Open Startup Competition. We were chosen as a Finnish Game Studio of the Year. Then we launched the game globally on Android and also on iOS. And then we got the first investment, $4.5 million from South Korea. So then we could start to scale up. So we started to hire more and more people. We made a new game, or founded a new game development team, make a new game, multiplayer shooter inspired by Overwatch. Then we also set up a studio in South Korea, which was a mistake. And the reason for that was that our investor wanted to publish Asia version of the Critical Ops game in Asia, but they said that we need Asia version of the game. which would be different than the Western version. So we set up a team in Korea making the Asia version of the game. But things look good, so our monthly revenues rose, so peaked $1 million per month. DAU rose up to 900,000, monthly actives over 7 million, and installs over 33 million downloads. So everything looked good. So amount of employees quadrupled. So in 2 years, we had June 2016, 18 employees, and June 2018, 78 employees, which was a huge mistake. Problems started to appear. There were miscommunication things, cultural differences, uncertainty, space problems. Daily work was extinguishing the fires all the time, and this was because the operational capability of the organization was much lower than what this kind of complexity of processes and operations were needed for that size of a company, when you have almost 80 people. So we didn't have things in place for that. So that caused quite a lot of pain. So we started to struggle. So in April 2018, Fortnite Mobile and PUBG Mobile came out. We got some technical issues with our game. We got hackers in the game. Our player base halved in few months. Also our revenues halved in few months. Our cash position started to melt down pretty quickly. And we were already thinking, oh, we ran out of money, there's bankrupt coming, what we'll do, and so on. Business Finland loaned 1 million euros, saved our assets, so we had some runway to improve things. So we killed the 6th game, we put all the energy improving critical ops, so we merged the teams, and we get things running again better, so we get more players, more revenues, but that was not enough. So in the end of 2018, we have to make some layoffs in the company and try to get things going with less people. And that was quite stressful time for me, and I almost got a burnout because making layoffs is very, very difficult. So our CFO started as CEO. I started in the position of chairman of the board, and I took a payless leave. And things didn't went so well. So of course he made good things, so he closed the Critical Force Korea office, but the game started to decline again. Then Call of Duty Mobile came out. We lost lots of competitive players, lots of influencers to Call of Duty Mobile. And finally I had to fire our CEO, and I became as a CEO again. And what went wrong with the CEO was that he just didn't fit in our company culture. 2020, I went back. I nominated a new management team. We started together create new vision, new strategy for the game, new company structure and organization, also improve our company culture. And things started to get better. There was a slight decline in the game, but meanwhile we could improve the monetization of the game. So our revenues didn't drop practically at all. And then we got an investment 2021 again, $10 million from Asia again. And we set up a prototyping team and started to make, again, new games. Then, war in Ukraine. So our revenue declined again, because we lost the Russian market, also the inflation, rising interest, rising living costs, and so on. And that was also going down. Then we could stabilize our situation. And new game went in pre-production last October, in production this February. And again, I tried to downshift. And we have a new CEO since the beginning of this year, Miikka Lehtonen, who has been working at Critical Force since 2014. He knows the company and the products like his own pockets. So very good fit and very happy having him as a CEO. So now I'm making 4 days per week and some extra things with Game City Kajaani things. We also have 2 very promising prototypes coming with Unity. This year also I got awarded Power Player of the Year at the Finnish Game Awards, so I was very happy about that. And lessons learned. Invest in your company culture, invest in your people. Don't hire too quickly and only hire when you really need someone. And be very careful when hiring, because that's one of the biggest mistakes I made, hiring wrong people. So be sure about the culture fit. Be transparent with your employees and involve employees as much as possible in the daily work. And have a clear vision, clear strategy in the company, and never lose your focus, because losing focus is distraction and it's dividing your resources. Raise money when you can, because when shit hits the fan, you start to lose money pretty quickly. You need a war chest that you can get over the bad times. And spend your money wisely, because it's very easy to spend money, but it's very hard to earn it. So keep eye on your expenses, your cash situation, and runway. That's the most important for the entrepreneur. Thank you. Almost in time.
Wow, I think that's probably the most honest presentation I've ever seen. That was very kind of warts and all, ups and downs. Does anyone have a question for VP about that? Well, everyone's kind of still slightly shocked. Oh, there's a question over there, I think. Oh, you're standing up. Can we get a mic across? There we go. Come over. It's impressive. While we're waiting for that, can I ask you one question?
Yes, I wanted to tell the story. That's because there's many entrepreneurs here who are starting business. So I wanted to tell the story, and also because I personally love presentations where I also told the bad things happening and how you got over and not just that everything is fine, we are doing well, but also.
We just turn up and we did Clash of Clans, and now we're Supercell. It's not very useful. That's much more interesting how you overcame all that. Would you do it all again if you started now?
Probably I'm retiring little by little.
Okay, there's a question there. Sorry, go for it.
So I noticed you had a lot of trainees at the start, and you kept using trainees to a lesser degree as time goes by. Would you have any words to encourage studios these days, be they smaller or bigger, to keep training up new talent?
Definitely. So trainees are a very good source of talent. So they are still, let's say, raw, but when they get some working experience, they can be super talented. So we have been very lucky with our interns, so we could hire very good trainees in the company and hire them, and that's practically how we grew up mostly. Of course, we got also senior people, but source mainly from Kajaani University has been the big plus for the company.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you very much. Well, thank you, VP. I'll catch you later.
Yep.
Hopefully it's all upwards from here. I hope it's all up here.